Meet sailing yacht Avanti and her crew, Gerard and Jacqueline. We left Cape Town in December 2021 on our floating home, heading west on an adventure of a lifetime around the world. Today's episode, we want to sail across the Indian Ocean, and we're going to look at what we need to do so.
The Atlantic Ocean is known as the constant ocean, with almost no tropical cyclone activity in the South Atlantic. The Pacific Ocean is called the calm ocean, and the passages are longer. Our longer passage was 32 days, but the conditions are generally calm in the favorable season. The Indian Ocean, people say, it's not if you get a gale, it's when you get a gale. The passages are shorter in the Indian Ocean, but the islands you visit almost have nothing. No supplies or no real supplies and no boat facilities. So you need to be prepared for the Indian.
Our planned route is to start from Indonesia and head over to Cocos Keeling first, then over to Biot, otherwise known as Chagos, stopping in northern Madagascar's Nosy Be before we finish our circumnavigation in South Africa.
First thing you obviously need is a capable and good boat. We've got a Cape Vickers 41 that was built in South Africa, and if you want to see more detail on this boat, there's a video called The Boat Tour on our YouTube channel.
Secondly, you'll need a dinghy, also known as a tender, and preferably not one with a Burmese python on board. This uninvited guest tried to hitch a ride. Other cruisers opt for 4 to 10 horsepower outboards and hard-bottom dinghies to have a bit more power when travelling far. Luckily, these pythons are great swimmers, and he safely swam to shore.
The next thing you need is fuel. We don't use a lot and we try to sail most of the time, but fuel is important when there's no wind or when there's a situation where you have to motor when you have damage to the boat or to the mast or the sails. It's not that easy to get fuel in Indonesia. When you are at Marina del Rey, for instance, there's no filling dock close by, so we have to take a taxi with jerry cans, which is quite a mission. The fuel is not that expensive, and there's various kinds of diesel that you get here, so we bought the cleanest one we could get. For this trip, we're taking more fuel than we had on the Pacific crossing, just because the islands we're stopping at could potentially not have fuel for us to refill. So we're taking about 500 liters of fuel in a keel tank, a day tank, and jerry cans.
We've been very fortunate with no real illness or injuries on our trip so far. But it doesn't mean we're relaxing on the subject. We still have lots of supplies, a whole bag full of medicines, as well as first aid books to help us in case something happens. Having the right safety gear is also very important, and luckily we have done a full video of all the safety gear on Avanti, but what we've done in the last couple of weeks while we've been waiting for the weather is going through all of them, servicing them and washing them nice and sparkly so that they're ready to go in case we need them.
The next very important thing is fishing gear. We've stocked up quite a bit in Indonesia. We were running low before, and we obviously hope to catch a fish. Our go-to lures are these little squids, and they really work well to catch good size mahi-mahi and Spanish mackerel as well as tuna.
Fresh water is worth gold when you're surrounded by salt water. We do have a water maker on board, but we prefer to always start with full tanks and only use the water maker to keep the tanks full. If Gerard is not successful with fishing, we definitely need lots of food on board. So what I do, which might seem like a bit of an overkill, is I make a spreadsheet of every meal we'll have for the next 3 months. It does seem a bit excessive, but this way I know exact quantities I need to buy before heading to the shops. We should reach a shop within 2 months, but at least this way I know we have enough in case this crossing takes a bit longer than planned.
If Jackie feeds me the right food, I can produce our own methane on board. But unfortunately, that's not enough to cook. So gas is very important, and we have to refill our South African gas bottles every few months. Wind is obviously also very important for us to sail. specifically having wind from the side or from behind, so that we don't beat into weather the whole time. So in Indonesia, the wind, we've got two seasons, the northwest monsoon and the southeast monsoon. So we've been here sitting and waiting for a few months, basically from November to like end of March with the northwest monsoon. And over the last couple of weeks, the weather has changed and we have southeasterly winds. So now we're just waiting for those to get consistent with no cyclones being present in the South Indian, so that we can pick a weather window and go.
The weather is really gloomy here the last few days. There's a system building in the Indian Ocean that's heading for northwest Australia. It might turn into a cyclone, but luckily the area we're in, we're really happy we are here. It's super sheltered. It won't come as far north as us, so we just have to deal with the rain that surrounds it.
Just when we thought the monsoon was on its tail end, we had a huge amount of rain last night, and as you can see, the river came down. So yeah, at least only the second time it kind of looks like this, but it will take a few days to clear the water up. You can see all the debris in the water. Today is not the day you would like to run your engine, because all of this will go into your raw water strainer. Not a good idea to move around today.
Meanwhile, on the other side of the island, outside of Gili Gaday's sheltered bay, it looked like this for a few days. To enter or exit any country, you need certain documents. And with us sailing without any signal across the Indian Ocean for a couple of months or weeks, we do need to get all our permits and send our arrival documents before we leave. Chagos, for example, was a bit more challenging than we expected it to be. So doing these documents and getting the right permits sometimes require us to get it months in advance. To exit Indonesia, we need to go to another marina in northern Lombok to meet the officials. Goodbye, Marina del Rey. It was good times we had here. After our first couple of weeks here, I called this place Anxiety Bay for me. I don't know why I struggled to really get into the groove. But now as we leave, I realize I'm gonna miss this place. It's strange leaving a place that we've lived for 6 months. Gonna miss it. The last document we need when leaving any island or country is the clearance document, where the immigration officers will come and say that we're leaving the country legally, and that immigration will come and stamp us out.
The options for clearing out as yachties in Lombok is quite limited. The only real option at the moment is Madana Bay. So we have to come up here, which is in the north of Lombok, and wait for a few days. It takes about 3 days, and the officials come to your boat to clear you out and to do all the paperwork. It is quite strange in Indonesia. Every port almost, we've heard that it's different in terms of the amount of time it takes to clear out. Some take a few hours only, and also the fee. This would be our most expensive clearing out fee thus far, at 4 million Indonesian rupiah. The other option is across the Lombok Strait to Bali, but there it's even more expensive, and the bay is extremely dirty, so we don't want to risk running into something there or getting something in the prop there. It's about 7 million.
Now once we've got that clear out document, we'll head back down the strait that we came up on today and past Marina del Rey to start our ocean crossing.
Due to it being still in the transition period of the monsoon changing, we still haven't got very consistent trades, so we might even have a very late cyclone in the South Indian Ocean. So for that reason, we are using a weather router to help us on our way to Cocos and then to Chagos and Madagascar. And our weather router is South African based, called Des Cassin, who helps yachts every year to cross the Indian Ocean. Thank you for joining us on our travels. Next episode, we clear out of Madana Bay and set sail for Cocos Keeling. Are you as excited as we are for the open ocean? If you liked this episode, please remember to give it a like and subscribe, and we are looking forward to your comments below. A special thanks to all our Patreons. See you in 2 weeks.